Hello, my name is Mrs. Porter. I'm the assistant head teacher here at Our Ladies with the responsibility for teaching and learning. What I've done is put together a video for you to help you navigate our educational online platform called Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams will be really important for your son and daughter this year and the years to come, particularly because their assignments and their homework will be posted on here. And also in the case of another local lockdown, this is where they will find all their work, and this is where we will conduct our online lessons. So it's really, really important that your son and daughter has a really good grasp of Teams, and that also you can assist them to use Teams as well. So this is what the aim of this video is, to give you some of an overview of how Teams works. So to start off, I'm just going to show you how to log into Teams. And forgive me if you know this already, but it's just to cover all bases. So the first thing that you would need to do is to bring up your son or daughter's login page for their email. To get there, the most basic thing to do is to type in Office 365. And if you type that in, it will give you here, it'll say Office 365 login, Microsoft Office. And if you click on that, it should bring you up the login page. Now the login page looks like this. And the start of your son or daughter's email address is the year that they joined us. It will be their initial, their surname, and then it will always be at olcc.lancs.sch.uk. That is the way all our email addresses end. So there will be no variation at all. So your son or daughter's email address will always end like that. They will always have their initial and their surname in it as well. Okay. And then what you will need to do then is type in next. And it will ask you for a password. In this case, mine won't, because my computer's automatically saved my password, but it will ask you for a password. All your son and daughter's password's been given to them by school. It's a unique password for them. So I would encourage you to ask them as soon as they come back to school in September, do they know their passwords? And if they don't, we can get those reset. That's not a problem. But the more frequently they sign into their email, the more frequently they use Teams, the more likely it is that they will remember their username and password. So really they should be logging into their email and their Teams every day. And obviously the routine of doing that will help them remember their username and password. And it's really, really integral to the whole process that they're able to do that. So when they've signed in, the next place you need to go to is, you'll see there's a little square in the top left hand corner and there's 9 dots in it. And if you just hover over it, you'll see it says App Launcher. You just need to click on that. And from there, you just need to go down to where it says Teams. You don't see it automatically in the App Launcher. You should see it automatically. You'll see there's an All Apps and you'll be able to see it from there. Okay, but you'll see this little icon here, like 2 little people with a T in front of them, and that's Teams. And you just click on that. There's no need to double click or keep clicking. It will automatically launch it when you click on it. Give it a little bit of time to open, depending on your internet speed, how quick your computer is, what you've got open on your computer will depend how quickly it's opened. I've quite quick internet speed here at home, so it tends to open quite quickly for me. But depending on what I'm doing, the time of the day, what I've been doing on my computer previously, it can lag sometimes. So just have a little bit of patience with it. If you notice it's not opening at all, my advice would be to just log out of your email and log back in, or to shut down your computer, restart your computer, and go from there, because that could be a reason for it lagging. When you open it, you will see that there's a number of icons here at the side. If you click on the Teams icon, which is the last one, at the side you will see all the teams that your son or daughter are a member of. A team is basically a group that is linked to their subject area. So you will see each of their subject areas listed down the side here. So, each of the subject areas have, I teach sociology, so this is my sociology area. They have a general notice board. And within that general notice board, they'll see the actual sort of any sort of conversations or anything that has been posted to that area for that class. So, for example, in my general area, I've reminded them that they have a lesson when we were doing online lessons during lockdown. I posted a quiz, so it comes up here letting them know if quizzes have been posted, and it tells them the deadline for those quizzes as well. So that might be quite useful for you. So if you go into to your son or daughter's general area, you will be able to see if any homework has been posted basically here, and when it was due. You can see here the due date, and you can just view the assignment from there. So that's a really, really handy sort of timeline to look at, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on within that class, within that lesson. You will also see some subcategories within each team. That's usually based around the different topics your son or daughter's learning. So, for example, what my sociology class were learning was beliefs in society, so I created a separate tab, and I kept all the information to do with beliefs in society under that tab, because as their year goes on, they will be taught different topics, and it's just a bit like a filing cabinet. It's a way of separating out what they're learning. So over time, what you will see with your son or daughter's team is that you'll see different topics appearing, and that's perfectly okay. It'll give you an idea of what they've done, what they've studied. It's maybe good for looking at revision wise when they get close to their exams. What exactly have you covered in this subject? And hopefully each of the tabs will give you an idea of that. Within each of the tabs, you can see in mine, I've posted their mock results. I've put revision notes on. I've added any videos that we've had, and that's all in there. And it's really good for the students, because again, it becomes a bit like a virtual timeline of everything we've done, and an easy way for them to track back what they've done. And also if they've missed, so for example, if your son and daughter have been off school for a day or two and they want to check back what's happened maybe in lesson and what's been posted, that virtual timeline would be a nice way for them to do that as well. Also in the Teams area, you will see files. If you click on that, you will see any files the teacher has made available to your son and daughter will be there. So you'll be able to see what has been made available. You'll be able to see any notes that have been put on for your son and daughter as well. And at the top as well, there might be some tabs with videos on there, or any additional important information that the teacher would like them to have. So you'll see here my notes for my sociology class are there under notes. And again, if you want to see what your son or daughter is up to, this is an easy way just to tab through these and see what they're doing. So that's what the initial Teams little tab does. The other one that's probably going to be really important for you is their assignments tab, and probably one of the most important for you. If you just click on the assignments tab, again, the teams will come up that are linked, or the assignment tabs will be linked to those teams. So for example, there's my sociology class, and they have an assignments tab. So for example, 7S1 will have a team, and they will have an assignments tab linked to that. It's within here that we will attach all assignments that we want your son or daughter to do, any quizzes that we want them to do, and even in the case I've put on some mock exams here for my class to do. So any homework that the teacher might want your son or daughter to do will be on here. During a local lockdown, any work that we would like them to do will be on here as well. In order to open the actual work, all you will need to do is click on it. And obviously this is my view. If I just change it to the student's view, this is what your son or daughter would say. So I put some instructions in here. Use this to help complete homework on perspectives, theory on religion and society. So I've uploaded something to help them revise. And that's what your son or daughter would say. And then the assignment part would be attached here. What's really useful, sometimes your son or daughter might struggle to read what's on the screen, or might struggle to read some of the content that the teacher has set. because obviously there's more complex words sometimes, and just generally it can be hard to read off a screen. So if you hit this little loudspeaker over a book in the corner, it will always appear in the top right hand corner in the page. It's called Immersive Reader. And what that Immersive Reader will do for your son or daughter is it will read the actual instructions or whatever is on that page to your son or daughter. So if you press play here, it will read all of this. And that's really, really useful. So if you're at home and you're struggling to help them read, or there's something that you think, right, I want them to hear it, they'll understand it better if they hear it. This is a really, really good function. If your son or daughter are dyslexic, or just struggle generally with their literacy, this is really, really a superb tool. If you go up to the right hand corner again, you will see it's text preferences. Again, a really, really excellent tool. You can make the size font bigger. So if it's someone who struggles with eyesight, that's a really good function as well. You can increase the spacing. Again, that's good for children who struggle to read. Sometimes the words can seem very, very close together. And there's also a way to change the background colour. So if your son or daughter are dyslexic, for example, and they read off a particular colour, if you click on one of these, as you can see, I've just clicked on yellow, it will change to the colour preference that they read better off, which is really, really fantastic for any children who need to read off a particular colour. So you can do that on it. So that's the first one, the 2S. The next one is the grammar options. Again, if you're doing some work with your son and daughter as regards English, it will break it up into syllables if you just press the radio button. These radio buttons turn on when they go green. So if you automatically see them black, it means it's off. To turn it on, you turn it into green. And as you can see, that has broken it up into syllables to help them read, which is, again, a marvellous tool. You can highlight nouns if they're doing some work in English, verbs, adverbs. So again, really, really useful. And then the last one, which looks a bit like a book, what that can do is it changes the line focus. I find this really useful for students when they're reading, because your natural tendency sometimes is that you will read quicker than your actual brain is processing the words. So you're not reading as you should, as you're processing. So this can be really, really useful in that it will highlight each line. So your child will be focused in on one line, and that will help them process what they're reading and make it much more effective. So that's the line focus. And what you'll also have here is a picture dictionary and a translate. So if you're in a household where English is an additional language and you want to get a better understanding of what that is in your own native language, that translate will work really, really well as well. So that is all under that Immersive Reader. To get out of that, you just press, you'll see exit coming up as soon as you hover over. Microsoft Teams is very, very sort of straightforward in regards how to use it. If you see a back arrow, it basically means it will take you back. If you see an X arrow, it basically means it will make something disappear. So Xing out will make it disappear. This will make it bigger, as you can see, in large screen, but it will all, it's all very self-explanatory when you hover over it. So if you're confused at any point, just hover over it and you'll see the actual, what I want you to do. So then you just go back, as you can see, and there's your Immersive Reader in the corner. So I would really, really encourage you to sit down with your son or daughter and show them. We'll show them in school, we'll show them over and over in school, but obviously at home, when you're trying to assist them with more complicated things, or maybe pieces of text that can be very sophisticated, this would help. If I just show you with something that I've uploaded myself, if I turn student view and I open these questions, here's the questions that I wanted them to do. So you will find this is the way that some things will get uploaded as a Word document, like I've done here, and then you will see the Immersive Reader there. And again, it just does exactly the same. So that Immersive Reader then would allow your son and daughter to be able to read the full document that's been uploaded, either read to them or using any of those other options that you might need. If you want to write on a document, so if your son and daughter want to do their homework directly into this document that I've uploaded, you would just hit edit document and hit the top edit, and that will allow them to open it like this, and then they will be able to type straight onto the document, and when they're done it auto saves. So you can see there's my cursor now there. So there we go. So if I wanted to type whatever I wanted, I could type whatever into that. I could close it and then I submit it. Okay, so say close, and then you will have at the bottom of the screen, obviously this is my view, but you will have a submit button, and then they just press the submit button and that submits their work to the teacher. So that's a document if it's uploaded. If a quiz has been uploaded, so such as this, so let me just go to the student view. If it's a quiz that's been uploaded, most quizzes will look like, and again just give it a few seconds, like this, and I will give the name of the quiz, and then there'll be multiple choice, or there will be a box where they can write some more extended answers in. And again, you will see a submit button at the bottom, and all you do is you hit submit and that will send it to the teachers. Just be aware when they submit it, that's it submitting. You can't recall it, that's it done, it's submitted. So maybe if you're working with your child at home, just read over what they've answered, what they've chosen before it is submitted, and then that will go straight to the teacher for marking. The teacher then will be able to send their marks back to them. So you will actually be able to see from your child's view what mark they have got for that particular piece of work once it's been submitted and returned to them. So I'll just close that. So that's under the assignments tab, and really that's the one that your son and daughter will be making the most use of over this year. Assignments are logged in chronological order, so the ones furthest back will be furthest back, the ones that are there at the top are the ones that are due more closely in time. You will see in all the assignments when it is due and at what time it is due. So it will tell you very, very clearly what is there, and it will tell you if it's been turned in or not. This can be useful as well if your son or daughter has been off school and you want to see what they have missed. It will all be logged on there for them, so you can see what they've missed, and then it can also be submitted after they've been off, after the period of time it is due. If there's a problem where your child's fallen behind in homework, it's actually easy to see here as well, because you can see if it's turned in or it's not turned in, and again you'll be able to see if it's turned in late, so that will all show here as well. Your child will have a calendar as well, so it will show a calendar of events, and those are the basic functions that you really need to know on Teams. So it's really being able to see what teams they are in. You can look to see if there's any files, you can look at the posts to see what the teacher has been posting. If it's quizzes, you can see maybe if there's tests that have been posted, etc. Any videos that your child maybe has access to that you can help them with as well, that's all going to be on there. The assignments tab is going to have all their assignments in it, whether that be a written assignment or something that's based in quiz, which would be like a test, and you will be able to see all their classes along here. And then I suppose the most valuable function that I would say that you could use with your son or daughter in all of this, I find it incredibly useful as a teacher, but I think at home with you trying to assist your son and daughter to do their best, I really firmly believe that immersive reader that you will see in the corner is really, really effective, and it's quite powerful in helping your son and daughter to help engage with the work, because usually literacy is one of the reasons why homework can be hard, homework can be challenging, and hopefully that will try and reduce that and help to support the literacy issues that might be there within that subject. And that will be available with the instructions and with the work that is set. That would be the main things that you would need to look at within Teams. If you wanted to come out of Teams and go back to their emails, all you need to do is you need to go back to the Outlook there. Within your apps as well, you have Word will be there, Excel will be there, and there will be a one notebook there as well. The teacher might decide to give each student a one notebook, and if they do, you will see your son or daughter's one notebook. If I just close that, you will see it within each team. And the one notebook is basically just an electronic notebook that the teacher might decide to allocate to your son or daughter, just to keep revision notes, class notes together that they can keep electronically. So if I go into Teams, and obviously again, remember this is my view, not the children's view, and I go into General, you will see there's class notebooks. If I open that, and again, it's taking a little bit of time because it just takes a minute to open the notebook sometimes because I'm going into a different application. So you'll see that it's got the title here already, but I will see there'll be an arrow for me. I will see all my students' class notebooks, but obviously when you open your child's, you will only see your child's notebook. The really sort of nifty thing about this, the really good thing about this is, as your child logs anything or makes any notes, the teacher at the other end can see that. So what we can do, therefore, is if they make notes and they're incorrect, we can review those and then we can let them know what they need to do to change those. So the other thing that you can do within the class notebook, if I just go down, so these are all the things that my class use their notebooks for. But if you go into them, so I'm just going to pick one of their tabs. Let me go to the exam questions one, because this is where they did all their exam questions. So obviously, if you have a son or daughter at GCSE or A level, this would be useful. But for Key Stage 3, it's equally as useful. So for the new year, for our new Year 7s coming in, this is a really useful tool as well to keep all their notes together. But as you can see, I put all of these, all this advice in for what I wanted them to do. And you can do all sorts to that as well. They can format them, they can change the size of it. You can actually put in, I can dictate notes and put them in as well. So I might put audio notes in for some of my students as well, and you'll see those as like a little microphone. And again, if you go to help, you will see, view, you will see Immersive Reader in there as well. So Immersive Reader appears in all the applications in Microsoft Teams, so it's very, very useful. But that's in case your son or daughter says, my teacher sent me up a notebook and I have to look at some of my notes in my notebook. That's where they are. They're inside class notebook here. Okay, so just to go back to recap, Teams is found within the 9-dot launcher, app launcher, inside their emails. Click on Teams and it will launch it. If you just want to see what's in their notebook, you can launch that on its own without Teams. You want to look in their emails, you just hit Outlook and that will let you into their emails as well. So it's all very, very easy to navigate and really, really quite straightforward. My biggest advice would be the more that your son and daughter makes themselves familiar with this and uses this, the better it will be for them and the better it will be for you as well, and assisting and helping them to navigate this educational platform. The last thing I just want to show you is, if you want to download the Teams app to your computer, you can do that. So if you type in Microsoft Teams, within the Microsoft Teams, you will see download app, and that will allow you to download the actual application onto your laptop or your desktop, which will mean that they can access it through the app rather than having to sign in through their email. You can also download the app to your phone. What I would say is that the phone application can be really useful for viewing assignments, for completing quizzes. Yes, it's really, really good. For doing anything like extended writing, the phone is not the best place to be doing that. It becomes very difficult and cumbersome. However, if you want to read something using Immersive Reader, you can see that on their phone as well. So Immersive Reader does appear on their phone. If you have a tablet, the tablet works just as well in some cases with some of the functions as a laptop. But the best use obviously will be laptop or desktop, then a tablet, and then a phone. So that is a complete sort of package that Microsoft Teams allows as regards where you can access it. Okay, so I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Miss Brogan at school, and she will pass those on to me, and we'll try and resolve anything or any difficulties that you're having as quickly as we can. I look forward to seeing you all, and I look forward to seeing all the New Year 7s in September. Take care.